Oh my, I'm really a mess this morning. But yeah, guys, it's reality, and basically today I'm gonna be doing a drugstore back to school tutorial, and basically that just means for people who are either schooling or just everyday makeup when you're on the weekend and stuff like that. So this may not be that corporate appropriate, but you can definitely adapt it. So I'm just gonna be using everything you can strictly find from the drugstore. It will be everything that you literally walk into either a Guardian or Watsons, and you can find it all there. So basically all the description box items will indicate where you can find them, either Watsons or Guardian, like I mentioned. But yeah, maybe just going back and forth a bit about when I started wearing makeup and stuff like that. For me personally, I was a really kind of late bloomer. I only really seriously picked it up in university, but when my first kind of makeup application kind of experience came when I was either in secondary 1 or secondary 2, but those were for occasions. So for instance, I had a prize presentation to go for and my skin wasn't looking that great, and at that time we weren't really exposed to YouTube as intensely as we are now. And basically I would just like find out ways to purchase a random concealer, use my sister's concealer and just slap and go. But basically it wasn't anything formal. But I understand that basically times have changed, and a lot of people do wear makeup to school, especially if you have some hormonal breakout, but very minimal. So this will be amalgamation of things like how to achieve very natural looking skin, so that maybe your teachers won't know that you're wearing any sort of base makeup. But also for those of you in polytechnics or maybe in university, you want something a little bit more snatched, a little bit more put together, and maybe a simple wing eyeliner and those kind of things. So basically I'm just gonna do a routine and show you guys what I would recommend from the drugstore. Okay, so the first and really important step is that you apply sunscreen. This is from Anessa. Anessa is super prevalent in our drugstore at the moment. I believe they started campaigning like maybe beginning of this year. So you can find this Anessa. This is the Perfect UV Sunscreen Gel, and I really like it because I guess you could call it a pretty thick kind of cream, but somehow I don't break out from it, and I like that it gives me sufficient protection. It's SPF 50, so that is really important, especially if you're acne prone. Okay, next from Catrice, this is the 1 Minute Face Perfector, which is basically like a primer, and as you can see, it's just like a balmy substance. I'm just going to press this into certain areas of my face just to smooth over the pores. If you have enlarged pores like myself or textured surfaces, this product will be good, like a silicone base, just to glide over problematic areas. I typically won't use this every day, but let's say you have a presentation in school, you can definitely use this so that you look poreless. And the intention of being poreless is so that the makeup just looks a little bit more smooth and not too cakey. Okay, for me, because I would apply like moisturizer before my sunscreen, but because last night I did like a quite intensive moisture routine, so I'm gonna mix in my favorite moisturizer, which you can find in the drugstore, Vichy Mineral 89. It's a serum, but it's a very like gel-like substance, which is perfect for our climate as well as my skin type, which is oily, dehydrated, so it doesn't like give a very greasy feeling. I'm gonna mix this in together with the foundation we're going to be using, which is from Essence. This is the Insta Perfect Liquid Makeup. This bottle is so freaking cute and is very in trend with all the glossier makeup, and it's super affordable. So I'm mixing in a pump of the Vichy Mineral 89. Right, this is a Catrice kind of bronzing stick, and it's a powdery finish, so I'm just gonna bronze my face with this. You guys know I really like cream products, so this is perfect when it comes to kind of giving more color to the complexion. And you guys probably know this already, but the Drugstore doesn't do really good shade selection, so you definitely always want to find a bronzer so that your complexion can have a little bit more color, a little bit more of its natural tones to it. So I really like cream bronzing sticks because it meshes well with any foundation formula and it doesn't look like a powder layer sitting on the skin. Especially if you're going to school, you definitely want to make sure that everything is blended seamlessly so it doesn't look like you're wearing too much makeup. So I discovered this new Catrice item. It's the One Drop Concealer from Catrice, and that plays into my favorite HD liquid coverage. I'll leave in the cards here basically my whole review on all my favorite base products from Catrice. So these two you can actually use together, but today I used the Essence foundation, so I'm going to use this concealer. So what I would suggest is that you can do your concealer before the bronzer, but for me, because I really like very little concealer, especially for school makeup, because I want my foundation to just neutralize my imperfections but not fully cover them. The point is to look really natural, not too perfected like a formal occasion. So this would be sufficient for, like, you know, presentation related events. So don't worry if, you know, your imperfections shine through. The point is that you are youthful and you do have imperfections and it's fine. This is from Catrice as well, the same kind of stick but a blush. So another tip and trick is to take your blush to kind of this area, because you know your skin has naturally quite red undertones. So basically don't be afraid to apply blush where it's not on the cheek area. You can apply it on the forehead so that the tones match and it's not like very stark, like blush is only here and you can't apply it elsewhere. The sun naturally hits all areas of your face, so it's okay if you apply it elsewhere. So recently when I hit into the drugstore, I saw this palette from Essence and I thought it was a super bang for your buck. As you can see, there's so many kind of pans. I believe these are highlighters. This is a bronzer and a selection of blushes as well as another highlighter. As I already applied kind of the cream base, you can go over with powder if you want to enhance it. So I'm just going to show you guys, like, you know, the range that actually exists in the drugstore, which is amazing. I'm just going to take a mixture of this bronzer as well as this orange blush. And then going back into this kind of mauve tone blush. So this just sets everything in place and you don't have to use a setting powder. You can just apply your powdered product on top if you're really oily skinned. But for me, actually, I don't really need this powder, but I just want to show you guys how it looks like on the skin. And it's very finely milled, so it just looks very light on the skin, which is incredible. And that's what you want in school, because you will sweat, you will have to like go over to different lecture halls and you'll definitely be sweating buckets. But this powder is very, very fine and it looks incredible. Okay, so this is the highlighter of choice. It's from Essence Pure Nude Highlighter. I'm not sure if they still have this, but check it out at Essence stand. And for highlighter, I really want to emphasize that you don't want anything that's too metallic. This doesn't look like much. It kind of looks like a setting powder, but it is a very natural highlight. And I suggest you kind of focus your energy on, you know, not looking like a standout, but more like naturally glowing and very youthful and radiant. That's the direction you would like to go for, not so much like metallic in your face highlight. So you can see it's just very, very natural. This is the kind of marker from Catrice. It's a brow comb, but it's essentially kind of like a product where you can release a little bit of tint. So I'm going to use this. So you can see before and after. So this is my favorite product of all time, Make Me Brow. You can also use this on its own. It's basically a brow gel where you can comb into your brows and add fibers, especially if, for me, I do have pretty long brow hairs, but if you guys are with sparse brow hairs, this will add length and fiber. Okay, don't mind the rain sounds, it just started raining, but these two palettes I saw in kind of the drugstore, and I was sent these and I thought they were like incredible. I can't believe you can find this in the drugstore. This is basically an eyeshadow palette together with a highlighter. It comes all in one, and you can see the pen size is really substantial. And this is another palette. So these colors are pretty bright, but I just wanted to use one of the colors here, which is probably gonna be this one. So going into this shade here, like sort of a neutral sparkly brown. So likewise from Essence, another face palette from Essence, like I mentioned, and I'm going to use this bronzer shade in the crease, like an eyeshadow. My favorite eyeliner from the drugstore is from DOLLYWINK, but I just wanted to show you guys this new tool that I found, because if you're anything like me, I can't do a wing for nuts, and I haven't been able to do it since forever. Only in recent times I was able to, but at that age in school, I literally have no time but to study. How can I start practicing my wing liner? But basically this is from a brand called Peach. It's a dual stamp liner. This is not something you can find in the drugstore, but I'll leave the link below for the purpose of creating a wing. But basically what happens is that you open up the stamp end, and what I'm gonna do is just stamp the corner of my eye. Once the wing is done, you can go in with any of your eyeliner. So for today, I'm going to be using the DOLLYWINK one, and you can fill in the gaps. See? And you've got a wing eyeliner. For drugstore mascara, L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise. It's my favorite at the moment. It gives so much length. Alright, and for the lips, this is a Catrice lip liner. Basically just like a movie tone. Seriously, do not overline your lips in school, kids. You want to look as yourself as possible when you look back at pictures. So don't overline your lips, just draw where it is naturally located. Yeah, I know it can be quite, maybe to some people it doesn't faze you, but when you see pictures you can kind of feel insecure about yourself at that age. But don't, because you only have those features, no one else have those features. So just fill in your whole lip. This will ensure that the lipstick stays on longer. Okay, so I'm just going to show you several lip options. I really like this. You can apply it without a lip liner as well. It's like a kind of pigmented gloss from Catrice. Okay, and this is the gloss look. If you don't like a gloss, you can apply liquid lipstick. This is the Generation Matte liquid lipstick from Catrice in 020. And if for you girls who don't like this kind of a intense lip, literally see the lip line and it looks quite intense, if you're not comfortable with that, you can always go with a stained effect. So I'm just going to remove this and show you guys how you can apply a very natural lip. Okay, so I removed it. With the liquid lipstick, you can basically just dab the center and use a clean finger and just rub it in. And that's how you get a pretty natural stain for back to school makeup. And this is the completed look. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this makeup tutorial featuring all drugstore products, and essentially this would be kind of the face I would do if, let's say, I had a award ceremony. This is the maximum kind of glam I would do for back to school, but you can easily alter this without the eyeshadow, just a simple liner with a lip and that kind of thing, just for every day in school. But this is how I would do my makeup if it were like a school setting or even like a presentation presentation period, just to look really put together. But also do be mindful that a lot of these things you have to take and adapt to your own skin type, your own structure, and also what you are comfortable in. A lot of people would just wear a simple wing liner and just get out of the house. For me, I like a little bit of eyeshadow. If you don't like eyeshadow, you can totally take it out. And also don't be pressurized to like get every single product in every single category. Like I mentioned, you can use like a simple bronzer in the eye socket and you're done. You know, you don't need eyeshadow. And also don't be tempted to apply so much product on the face. Basically today when I applied the cream bronzer as well as the powdered products on top was just to show you guys the array of products that exist in the drugstore, but typically I would just stop at using these two cream products and not apply powder on top. But as you can see, with powder application your makeup will last for a longer period depending on how long your school day is. But if not necessary, yeah, go completely without powder. Yes, so if you guys have any other questions, do feel free to leave them in the comment section below or chat with me on my IG here. And yes, without further rambling, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye.